This is a read-through of Truck CPC Scenario 7. I hope it helps. I'm going to upload some Kahoots and questions afterwards so you can practice what you learn. There is no easier way to pass your CPCs than go into my home channel, picking a membership. I'll send you the scenarios, the questions, the answers, all the Kahoots so you can practice in your own time, on your mobile phone or on your laptop. I'm Leon Clifton, this is ADR Training. This is Truck Case Study 7, this is Brenda. Brenda was aware she had a very long journey from her hometown of Buncrana, County Donegal, down to Limerick. She went to the staff canteen and ate a good breakfast. Now there's always debates about what a good breakfast is, like at the moment fat is okay again and carbs are the enemy, but we'll get into that later. One which would help her concentrate on her driving over the long distance without getting hungry. Brenda's consignment included bricks, bags of cement and boxes of insulation products. She picked up her keys from the transport manager and before having her truck loaded, carried out her daily walk-around check and cockpit drill. What's the recommended time for that?
10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes. Before helping the fork truck driver load the truck, she set her tachograph to the correct mode. So what would that be?
Other work.
Exactly. In order to make the loading easier, she used a sack barrow. Do you know what a sack barrow is, yeah? You know the one where you tip the box forward and you put the barrow underneath it and then you tip it backwards? That's the sack barrow. I'll show you a picture in a moment. In order to make the loading easier, she used a sack barrow to carry the bags of cement. The bricks were distributed throughout the centre of the truck. Next, the cement bags were loaded at 90-degree angles. Finally, the insulation boxes were placed around the heavier items as she had no straps to stop the load from moving. So that doesn't make any sense. Brenda placed the tarpaulins over the load, on the load, starting from the front and moving towards the back of the truck. She used rope to secure the tarpaulins in place. Do you think a tarpaulin is the correct thing to secure bags of cement and bricks with?
No.
Of course not. Absolutely not. Brenda started out early to get to Limerick before lunchtime. I don't know, what's the distance between Buncrana and Limerick? How long would that take?
It's about 3 hours, 3.5 hours.
In a truck. Brenda started out early to get to Limerick before lunchtime when she wanted to take her first break. As usual, she used the national roads as much as possible. You'd be using the motorways as much as possible, wouldn't you? Watching for traffic signs that indicated things such as danger or speed limits. Whilst driving through Donegal, she encountered numerous uphill and downhill grades and repeatedly had to change gears. The difficult driving conditions and excessive gear changing caused her to get extremely tired. You'll have to explain that sentence to me later. Changing gears does not make me tired. But to make the delivery window in Limerick, she kept driving, bless her. When leaving Crusheen, a town on her route, she passed under an arch bridge with vehicle restrictions. All bridges have restrictions though, don't they? Depending on their height. At one point along the N18, she came across a slow-moving motorcyclist. She tried to maintain an appropriate speed and distance, but the rider was going much too slowly. If Brenda continued at that speed, her delivery time would be delayed. As the right lane of the dual carriageway was closed for roadworks, she decided to move closer and flash her headlights at the rider. Is that okay?
No.
Certainly not. You can't intimidate someone on a motorbike because they're not going fast enough. Hoping he would pull over into the hard shoulder and let her pass. A traffic corps guard saw what happened and pulled Brenda over to ask her about the incident. The guard was aware that some of the drivers who worked for the same company as Brenda had a reputation for tampering with their tachographs. In fact, in a recent news report, he heard that one of these drivers was convicted of altering with intent to deceive. We'll Google that after we finish here. Altering with intent to deceive. And received the maximum penalty. The guard decided to check Brenda's tachograph. He asked her to open the tachograph and remove the chart. He then proceeded to inspect the traces on it before handing it back to her. So she has an analogue chart with the cards and the scratches on the back of it, the traces that the machine makes to show her speed and distance and everything. The tachograph was all in order and she had the previous 28 days charts with her. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, 28 days plus the day you're working. However, he did not ask to see them. As anticipated, Brenda arrived late to her destination where she was asked to provide the transport contract documents to the authorised person. The supervisor agreed to unload the truck, and as that gave Brenda an hour and a half, she decided to go off and enjoy her evening meal. She returned at 7 p.m, at which time the staff and supervisor had left, forcing Brenda to finish unloading the last few bags of cement. That was very nice of them. It took her 45 minutes. At 7:45, when the unloading was complete, Brenda began the return journey, which was to take her 6.5 hours. After driving for only 3 kilometers, Brenda remembered that she had forgot to change the mode switch on the tachograph to the correct position. This is an analog one where you click it left to right, yeah? She knew that it recorded the speed, distance and time travelled. Whilst driving and correcting the mode switch setting, she decided to check the chart to make sure it was still recording. Brenda did this by opening the tachograph head whilst driving along the straight stretch of road. You can't open the tachograph while you're driving, yeah? Is that not obvious? You can't open the tachograph while it's recording. That's just silly. Whilst passing through Oramore, she realised she had not had the consignment note signed. The assignment was too late to do anything about it. She kept driving on because this had been a long day. She was now feeling very tired. In order to get home as soon as possible, she kept driving and arrived back at her depot at 3:30. So she left at 7:45. 7 hours and 45 minutes she was driving. Is that okay?
No.
No. So there you go. I'm not sure Brenda's going to be in that company very long. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. And liking and subscribing to my channel helps other people like you find them. I'm Leon Clifton.